No. Oh, let's let Lori just sit down.
As Christmas dinner wound down, and the table was left with nothing but the scraps of a marvelous feast, my family and I made our way into the warm and comfortable drawing room of our more than generous host, John. Of my family, John was the only one who ever seemed to care, who ever seemed to understand that life wasn't all about productivity, that took any interest in me at all. Without John, I'd never see my relatives, which would be their preference, I being the poor relation after all. My presence tended to induce a reaction not unlike pity in them, an unpleasant sensation for both them and I.
Can I grab anyone a drink?
Asked John, as we all gathered around the fire. Many of us, myself included, took him up on the offer, and the chatter of small talk mixed with the stirring of drinks to create quite a festive atmosphere, as we all fought off the sleepiness brought on by a meal well eaten. When the drinks had been poured and we'd all settled into seats, John raised his glass.
A toast to a wonderful year. Now, there is a tradition to be upheld, a story told of our lives away from here.
In this moment, quite unexpectedly, John turned and looked at me.
Uncle Michael, I'd love you to tell us of your year first.
No. You tell us yours. I've not much to tell.
You certainly do. And as your host, I insist.
His smile was warm, even as our other relatives all looked to avoid eye contact. I stood and began my tale. I have no doubt that I shall surprise the assembled members of our family, and particularly John, our esteemed host, to whom we are so much indebted for the great hospitality with which he has this day entertained us, by the confession I am going to make. But if you do me the honor to be surprised at anything that falls from a person so unimportant in the family as I am, I can only say that I shall be scrupulously accurate in all I relate. I am not what I am supposed to be. I am quite another thing. Perhaps before I go further, I had better glance at what I am supposed to be. It is supposed, unless I mistake, the assembled members of our family will correct me if I do, which is very unlikely, that I am nobody's enemy but my own, that I never met with any particular success in anything, that I failed in business because I was unbusinesslike and credulous, that I failed in love because I was ridiculously trustful, thinking it impossible that Christiana could deceive me, that I failed in my expectations from my Uncle Chill, on account of not being as sharp as he could have wished in worldly matters, that through life I have been rather put upon and disappointed in a general way, that I am at present a bachelor of between 59 and 60 years of age, living on a limited income in the form of a quarterly allowance, to which I see that John, our esteemed host, wishes me to make no further allusion. John shared with me a warm smile as I looked about the room. John's face glowed with encouragement, even as the rest of our relations shifted between a vague disinterest and an outright counting of the seconds until I was done. I took another sip of my drink and enjoyed the sound of the fire for a moment. One more sip, and I started my tale once more.